I need to find the alt spreads. I forget where that is in points bet. Points bet.
Hey, thanks for joining us on We Called It. We're doing a special live stream for the Super Bowl. It's I think the Friday before, so we got a couple days to get your bets in, and uh, I guess it's a live stream. I can't just stop and reset.
Good, good. Lets
Yeah.
us know that we don't do these very often, and we do them in multiple takes.
Yeah. I don't think there's anyone actually
It'll be
watching, but we'll
interesting to
see.
see if my computer freezes. It'll be interesting.
Well, I'm just gonna keep I tried to get Anthony on here in case your computer freezes. That way, I have someone to jibber jabber with. But if you're gone, it's just gonna be me, just
You,
me going, man. I'm not doing this
just
anymore.
you.
I'm just flying it.
You're
All
not
right,
turning it off.
huh? Oh,
Don't
I'm
do
not turning
that.
off the stream. I am just talking. It doesn't. I don't know what opinions I'm giving. I'm coming in hot though. Anyways, I'm here. Philip Call, Connor. I'm joined by Connor. How you doing?
Man, I just want to see. I want to see this alternate spread, man. I want to see how big the spreads are and if I actually think I'm going to bet one of them.
Get one of the crazy like 5-1, 6-1 bets going.
Yeah, I'm interested in. I'll say, like, we can talk about the differences between all the places, but I think that DraftKings seems to have, like, they have a lot of, but they don't have the best variety of picks. I don't think that they have the best variety. Like, they don't do a ton of prop bets with players that are like as in depth as Bet 365 or Points Bet. They don't have the depth of picks. They just kind of have vanilla stuff at the top, and I assume they're more for like Joe Schmo random better who's just like, oh cool, I got free bets. Let me put it on literally everything.
So uh on Twitter he goes by Captain Jack. I think it's what he goes by on like all of his on all of his Facebook posts and whatnot. But he is one of the more famous like betters. And he just constantly rags on DraftKings for just I don't want to say being scam artists, but just not living up to what they promise you. And like
Yeah,
sometimes having like misleading payouts, saying they'll pay you out when they don't, and just looking shady at all in all in general.
yeah. I don't like what they. I honestly just don't. Even like some of their normal like bets, just there's some like some of their straight line like they give you like same game parlays where they don't let you build things or they build or they say super. I understand a parlay already is super unlikely, like odds are obviously in the house's favor, but they'll do like same game parlays and then they'll give you a free same game parlay and then they give it to you but only for like SPGX, which is like their cookie cutter same game parlays that are like crazy. I think that in my opinion, I think their odds are kind of low for how often that those will actually happen. And then they give you a free one and then they're like, "Hey, bet it on this." Except there's three cookie cutter ones that we're giving to you that you have to choose that are never going to pay out. So it's like total psychology. I get it. It's a business
Well,
model.
I think it
I
was
get it. It's just predatory.
I think it's like FanDuel. They do those like preset same game parlays, and they put them right at the top of your screen. They flash you in, try to get you to bet them. And someone like started tracking them day after day, and they were like 0-10, and
Yeah,
the odds are still only like plus 400, plus 300.
that's
So
what I
you are
mean.
just at a huge negative.
Yeah, and the but like I get it for a better who is not really like you know I don't know, maybe who's not and doesn't have an addictive personality, doesn't really care, fine. But that's what I'm saying about like ethically or predatorily, if that's a word. Like if they give you a free bet and then you come close on one of those, but of course it never hits, and you're just like, all right, yeah, I'll do another one. And it's like, oh, but I really like these cookie cutter bets because I can't pick. I don't like player props putting them together myself. Let me just pick the one that's at the top of the screen that's just awful, and the odds are terrible. Seriously, we put together some like really crazy odds, points bets ones on like Bet 365 that I'm pretty sure had a better chance than some of these. And we were like, I was way close, way
Well,
close.
well, like when we talked about using your risk free bet and wanting to get a huge pay like we talked about it pairing up with someone so that you get your
Yeah,
guaranteed profit and then you take a high payout on one side. Like what I hit, I mean, between you, me, Nate, and Ken, like we hit on 4 or 5 out of like 8 or 9 of those,
yeah.
which it's a ridiculous hit rate when you're talking plus 500, plus 600 odds. So
Yeah.
it's much simpler to like. I think someone posted this. I can't remember his name. He goes by I am Romstradamus on Twitter. Raheem Palmer. He used to be at the Action Network, but he's just like, yeah, dude. Crazy parlays don't work because you need 10 different things to happen. If you want a 10
Yeah.
to 1 payout, it's better to look at like the alt spreads, like we said, and just say, give me the Chiefs to win by 2 touchdowns, because then you just need like that event to happen. You don't need a bunch of
Yeah.
crazy stuff, or like 2 touchdowns for Kelsey. That's 2 big plays, things like that.
But see, that's also why you watch like the free bets, and they'll make a ton of restrictions around those, or they won't put those. That's what I'm saying. I don't think DraftKings does. They don't really have a ton of, I don't know, unique bets. Points bet 365. They all have what I think are like some super unique, kind of fun, different ways to do it. Like Russell Wilson, completions, or first pass touchdown, or something stupid like which was crazy because the free bet that I almost won on 365 was one away. If you remember that, I needed an extra
Was that was
field
that
goal.
Ravens game,
Yeah,
or
so
was that
I
a
needed
different one?
a field goal. I was all close on that one, but then I needed a field goal. It was over 3.5 field goals for again, this was 365 for Kirk Cousins and the Giants. Everything hit, if you remember. It was like, this is what I mean, like fun free bets. Kirk Cousins over 35 passing completions or 35 passing attempts. Got it. Over 3.5 field goals in the game. Got it. Or missed it. And the other one was, Daniel Jones over 20 completions. All of those things happened, and then of course Kirk Cousins couldn't get them to go down the field and get into field goal range. This was the one where he went fourth down and checked down to Hawkinson on 4th and 10. Just an
Well,
absolute awful play. Put him in field goal range, that would have hit.
so it's famous that parlays in general, they have a compounding. You can think of it as like casino expense to because the odds work multiplicatively. So if there's like a 10% expense, you multiply 10% by 10%, you get 21. So it like
Yeah.
compounds. But when I write same game parlays, right? They've done pretty well. I think I don't know my total record on them, but it's like at least I think I'm at least even. Um, but the reason it works is because when I write them and do them, you have to find correlated outcomes and that break like the odds associated with it. And the very first one I hit was last year. It was the Vikings. I had the Vikings to be up by a touchdown at half, but then win by less than 8, which doesn't make sense, right? If you're winning by a lot, you're typically going to win by more.
Yeah.
And but it was the Vikings last year, and we all knew that all their games ended within 8, but they were playing the Bears, who sucked, so they were going to get out to a huge lead. So it's little
Yeah.
things like that where you have to be aware of the situation, and like try to find the little edges instead of oh, there's a generic one that sounds good, but how do they work together is the big question.
Well, we talk about uh, you know, not just picking numbers, but we talk about uh, correlated game scripts, what we think and what should happen. People, I think, sometimes are just like, well, whatever, Patrick Mahomes is.
It's like when you play DFS, right? The way they get you is you go, oh, I think this guy's gonna have a game, this guy's gonna have a good game, this guy's gonna have a good game, right? But
Yeah,
then you realize the guys who win those, the millionaire makers, all they did is they said which game is the highest scoring this week, and they said, all right, give me Saints versus Falcons, give me all the players in that game, and it's gonna be high scoring. And when
yeah,
that happens and it's like 40-30, that guy cashes out big.
yeah. I mean, we were hoping that the Bengals and the Chiefs ended up being, high scoring, and it didn't. So that was, broke everything. You're hoping. I think, yeah. I think I had, yeah. That was actually one of the bets that we had against each other. That you're like, okay, Bengals and Chiefs should be high scoring. Actually, ironically, the Chiefs it was Chiefs 3 touchdowns in the first half. I actually had Bengals 3 touchdowns in the first half, and Jamar Chase. Oh, God bless him. God bless him against the Bills, and
Yep,
they had 2, and he
should have had a
had
third.
they had a third one called back. How upsetting! How upsetting that was.
Oh, Ken is washing and saying that apparently we can hear your dishes in the background. It's all good. Don't worry.
Hey, listen. She's doing the dishes for us.
She is
My wife
she is
isn't in
doing a
bed by
great job.
7.
Ken, if you're still here and listening, tell Santi I said hi, and he's gone. Concurrent viewers is back to 0.
Oh,
Yell.
Ken.
I guess we shouldn't be yelling at our viewers 10 minutes in.
That's all right. That's
All
fine.
right. Anyways, let's get to the important things that I hyped up last week, and that is Super Bowl food. That is what everyone wants to hear us talk about because it's what we talked about last time, and they loved it. So, Connor,
Dude,
we talked about this slightly beforehand. What Super Bowl foods do you like to have?
first off, okay, I just want we could just go around and talk about dips, but I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to say at least the first one that I would say is buffalo chicken dip. Okay, I truthfully I don't unless you're someone who if you like any bar food, I feel like you like buffalo chicken dip. So have you ever been to a party and there's buffalo chicken dip? I don't know. It just doesn't last. Everyone eats it every time, and at least with the
So,
ones I've been.
Sarah and I were talking about this. She had a Super Bowl party on Thursday for like her school, and she went and ate all the buffalo chicken dip because it's delicious. But I'm like, hey, if you made buffalo chicken dip, there is no way you would touch it because like when you see it's kind of like when you see how the sausage is made, you're like, ooh, that looks pretty rough because it's just like it's like, hey, I got some shredded chicken, I got some buffalo sauce, boom, 10 pounds of cream cheese just to cover it all up. It's like it's one of those things that you don't want to see how the sausage is made, but it is delicious when it's sitting out there. And also,
See, I don't think I knew that either. Now I don't think I'm gonna eat it anymore.
see,
Is
I
it?
just ruin it for everyone. But it's one of those things that's nice because you can put it in the middle of a table. You don't have to have a plate. You get a bowl of chips sitting right there. Scoop it up. You're all set. You don't have to commit to anything, right? You don't have any dishes. You don't have to worry about anything. I agree. Dips are the way to go. Um, However, so last year I broke the world on taquitos when I said, well, taquitos are my go-to Super Bowl food. This year I'm trying something new. It's a little bit different and it's out there, but it's because I bought a ton of them at Costco. It's going to be egg rolls. So first of all, I love egg rolls. I only ever eat them with Chinese food, and I'm starting to kind of wonder why. You can wrap up anything in that egg roll, and it's absolutely delicious. Like I've had buffalo chicken egg rolls, Southwest fajita egg rolls, and then like just traditional like Chinese egg rolls. But all it is like it's the exact same concept as a cheese stick, only you put more stuff in the middle. So I'm over here eating my egg rolls, dipping it in some spicy ranch sauce. Absolutely delicious.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not like egg rolls are clearly not made for originally not made for just stuffing whatever in there. Phil, that's an American version of an egg roll.
Absolutely, and just like I mean, Chinese food isn't actually what they eat in China.
I mean, yeah, you well, I mean, it's a little bit closer than stuffing an egg roll with like buffalo chicken.
With your buffalo chicken dip.
Yeah, we just mix it all together and make mush.
Yeah, and it's delicious. All right, so that's we're having buffalo chicken dip with a side of buffalo chicken egg rolls. Anything else you're putting out?
You know, I don't really know anybody who like go. Well, that's not true. When I was in Chicago, I mean, the Super Bowl was obviously very big, but I would say in Chicago, when I was there, that was 2019. So that was actually 2018 or 2019, and this is prior to the Super Bowl. But like this was the double doinker with the Bears in the first round of the playoffs. That actually maybe that was that year. Maybe it was the Eagles' year because the Eagles win that year?
I have no idea. Get to the point.
The point is, I was saying skip the Super Bowl. Don't wear Super Bowl foods. Just go to a place to watch the Super Bowl, which would be like in Philly, in Chicago, probably not LA because there's just too much. I don't know. There's too much other things going on in LA. go to an NFL city that just is all about that team. I think that would be something that I would want to do, like for my life.
Do
Meaning,
you want to be part of the Philly riots? You want to knock down some
kinda
street signs, flip some cars?
Chicago or Philly, maybe even Kansas City. Like I
No,
feel
dude,
like that would be fun.
Kansas City isn't big enough. Those people are just happy to sit outside and barbecue. They don't care what time of year. They don't care about anything. They're just out there
I've never been to
barbecuing,
Kansas
having a
City.
good time. Chill people.
I've never been to Kansas City. Have you been to Kansas City?
I have not, but it's because
Yeah,
there's other
yeah,
places.
yeah.
I mean, like, I think there was someone who said that just like, yeah, if you go to the Kansas City Stadium and you drive around, like, there's nothing around it. It's literally Kansas City Stadium in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
So,
I I could see that. I had a
all
guy who
right,
was
so
from the Kansas side of Kansas City that I worked with at IX. I'm like, dude, man, there must be nothing over there.
all right, so since
He
you
agreed.
copped out, here we go. My second food. I went with the taquito last year. This year, I'm going with a similar South American food, and it's going to be the empanada. So, Ken yelled at me for this because, he said empanadas are the cheeseburgers of Colombia, where it's like you go somewhere, it's like, hey, we're having a cookout, boom, empanadas. They're just available all the time, and they're absolutely amazing when they're homemade. The empanada I'm talking about is a really cheap, crappy one from Costco that has that same disgusting beef filling that is in the taquito, but the empanada is much smaller. So, number one, it fits on a plate much more easily. Number two, it has a higher like crunch to beef ratio, and I like crunchy food. So I'm
Dude, all right,
absolutely
so let me
choosing the
stop you there.
empanada.
Listen, we could take out this word Super Bowl and just put on foods. The title of our show for the opener could be foods that Americans have butchered, and we would be like talking about the exact same food.
Here's the problem. We talked about like how buffalo chicken dip is not healthy and kind of disgusting for you. These are party foods. Like I don't eat them all the time. I'm never gonna buy those Costco empanadas. I have the Costco egg rolls, but I don't make them ever. See, this is the problem
Did
I'm
we
having.
not talk about this last year where you said, oh, but I also eat taquitos all the time. Don't tell me you don't eat taquitos all the time.
I
They
do
have
not eat taquitos
boxes.
all the time. Have you seen the price of taquitos?
No, I don't eat taquitos. In fact, my wife makes taquitos, and they're way better than anything that you could get from Costco.
Yeah. See, that's the problem. I'm not here for like actual good food. If I wanted that, I'd be like, oh yeah, grill me a steak and make me some ribs. I am
I
here
have
for this.
taquitos probably once every 2 weeks, if not once a week. Homemade.
You win.
Yeah,
Like I
they're
get it.
better.
You win. You win. I have nothing like that because I have
Sarah will
cheeseburgers.
have to learn how to make them for you.
I do the cooking. No
Oh,
big deal.
you will have to learn to make them for you.
If it takes time and effort, I'm busy.
So you just said no one does the cooking then because you said I do the cooking. It doesn't sound like you cook.
I do cook, but I only cook things that are hyper efficient. For example, I made chicken tacos the other night, but that is all in one pan and it does not make a big mess.
So you don't really cook. You do like the microwave thing.
No, it's legit. I chop up pepper and onion. Chop up, I make chicken. I shred the chicken. I grill it all. The only difference is I do it in one convenient location, so I don't have a lot of dishes.
You're not a real cook.
Oh, I didn't say I was a chef or anything. I said I do the cooking.
You're a fake. You're a fraud.
That's hurtful. You know what I'm
You're a
not a
fraud.
fraud at? Betting.
What? You're still a
And
fraud.
that's what we're really here for. So let's move on.
We're defrauding DraftKings.
My brother Ryan hops in the chat. Not eating taquitos is a problem. Hot and ready pizza is hyper efficient. So everyone go grab some Little Caesars.
Told you, man. That's what you do.
All right.
You're rubbing off.
I know. I am infectious with how cheap I am. He called me today about
all right, so let's
budgeting.
just move on to the betting. All right, this is what I'm talking about. I think I have a bone to pick with everybody, like except for DraftKings. Or no, I have a bone to pick with DraftKings because they are just not good.
Should we talk about the game in general first before we get to betting? Like the Eagles versus the Chiefs?
Why would we do that?
Because that's what people want to know. It's our expert knowledge. That's why people show up to the show.
But also because they want to hear about betting.
Yeah, and they'll hear that after. We have to build to it.
Fine, whatever.
I feel like live streaming, we are just totally different than when we record.
Yeah, because I don't want to hear your BS. I don't want everyone to hear your. I do want everyone to hear your baloney that I have to deal with every week.
They can hear it because it's posted and available every week.
Live, no fakes, no, no,
Uh,
no, no
no,
frauds,
no,
no,
I
no
can't
takes.
clip it and just make you look
Yeah,
like the crazy one. All right,
I'm not
let
crazy. You're
let's
crazy.
get to it. Eagles versus Chiefs. What do you want to see, or what do you expect to see in this matchup?
There are sometimes like things where I don't know. I feel like the Super Bowl is just like a wild card. Things that should happen shouldn't, or don't happen, and things that shouldn't happen should happen, and so and do happen, and so like for example, everyone. I just have a weird Reed is going to pull out some crazy garbage thing, like justify the fact that he went out and got Kadarius Toney and just give him the ball like 50 times and be like, see, he's really good. But he really was sucky for the majority of the time that we've had him. But remember, he's like a first round draft pick. And then people will be like, oh, great. We should definitely use him. David Tyree. David Tyree is going to happen. Kadarius Toney is David Tyree. That's what's going to happen.
Don't
And
you dare shame Kadarius Toney by saying he's some garbage that won't do anything outside of one play in the Super Bowl.
I he had one play last week and blew up his ankle, or 2 weeks ago. So like I think there's things that shouldn't happen that will happen. And I think that's how last year. Everyone's like, I mean, except last year we were all on the T Higgins thing, and then we dunked on Ken when T Higgins literally dunked on Jalen Ramsey last year. Yeah, that was
That was the
fun.
best moment.
That was fun though, because I immediately texted Ken and was like, Ken, is T Higgins not good at football? And he was like, no, T Higgins sucks. And then in the offseason, he became a smart guy. So
He
all I'm
learned from his
saying
mistake.
is the Super Bowl just seems to have some unpredictable things. Like I feel like this is going to be a weird one because Andy Reid's in it, doing the ring around the rosy, break of the huddle into some stupid play.
So I love that you just monologued and all you said is, I don't know what's going to happen because the
Yeah.
Super Bowls are weird.
What would you like me to say? Would you like me to say, all right, I think Chiefs by 2.5. There you go. Is that fine? I
That
think the
that
Eagles
that
are overrated.
that's fine. See, that's what we want to know. But listen,
There you
I'm
go.
with you. I'm with you, and here you go.
Listen, we're also live right now, so I don't know if you know this, but this is how people get people to pay attention. They just hear them go on and on. They're like, yeah, I like that guy. I can have a beer with that guy. He's making some
Oh my
really
gosh, all I
valid
could think is
points.
like John Gruden when you said that, and I know you shouldn't say that, but it's like he's like, yeah, I like that guy, that Tebow.
Oh, no, yeah, I like that guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good guy.
All right.
You know
Anyways,
what?
I'm actually gonna give
Who's that? Who's
analysis
that?
on the game because I
Who's
watched the
that?
film, unlike you.
All right, fine, whatever.
So
I'll give
listen.
you analysis.
So listen. Mahomes is awesome, and the Eagles haven't played any real quarterbacks. I guess I'm going more stat wise here, but I'm really just blaming the Eagles for not having a tough schedule and the fact that Brandon Ayuk came out and was like, dude, we were going to humiliate their offense. Chiefs are going to do it. If we had a quarterback, we would have blown them out. I think the Eagles are super overrated for having a cupcake schedule. Someone pointed out that like the hardest team they played was Jacksonville, or you could say Minnesota, but it's primetime Kirk Cousins. That doesn't mean anything, right? And then you
Yeah.
have the Chiefs, who 14-3 in the AFC, going up against much tougher
Yeah.
competition. Yeah, I see it. You'll be back. I can monologue. Connor will be right back. His computer does this all the time. Now you guys see what I have to deal with. But anyways, the Chiefs, tough schedule. They played the Bengals last week. Tough game. And the Eagles constantly come out. They get to a big lead. The only times they don't get to a big lead was against like the Bears and the Colts. And they were easily able to come back in those games. So I think when the Chiefs come out and keep up with them, they're not going to know how to handle it. I also think this is coming from the doctor. Okay. I spoke with Ken and he said that it
Dr.
is
Pepper?
worse. border Dr. Pop. No, but Ken said the Jalen Hurts injury is definitely going to have longer lasting effects over like the 2-week period. Connor, your browser isn't allowing recording. I have no idea what's going on. But anyways, the Jalen Hurts injury will last longer and have a bigger impact over these 2 weeks than the Patrick Mahomes injury. It was a high ankle sprain. Yes, he had a little bit of a setback, but at least he had 2 more weeks to heal off of it. And you saw that when the plays mattered most, it didn't affect him as much. And then back to the Eagles, like their last 3 games or four games have been Giants. Or sorry, it's 3 games: Giants, 49ers with a backup quarterback. It's just a cupcake schedule. They haven't, and Jalen Hurts he hasn't thrown for over 150 yards in the playoffs. Their defense also is built on a good front four and excellent cornerbacks. And the problem with that is that the Chiefs don't rely on their outside receivers, and they have a good up front blocking scheme. So that's like Travis Kelce Central, where you're going to have a cornerback, a safety, a linebacker. That's the Eagles' weakest parts. That's who's going to be matching up with Travis Kelce. I think he has a big game, lots of targets, lots of big plays. And then lastly, I'm going to cover my same game parlay that I wrote for Action Network. But Isaiah Pacheco, he had 5 catches last week. He had not had more than 2 catches in any game prior. I think Andy Reid saw what he can do in space and just trucking people. And they're going to use that, try to, capitalize on screens, try to capitalize on checkdowns to him. I just think this is actually a bad matchup for the Eagles. So Connor,
you don't think that Andy Reid's they activated CEH off IR. He's in, he's good to go. He's on the active roster. You don't think he's gonna be like Andy Reid everybody and be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna throw in CEH for like 10 plays.
Isaiah Pacheco took his spot in the regular
that.
season.
I get it, but I mean, at the same time, like, this is what I mean. I think he's gonna want to throw a curveball in there, but he's just gonna do it way better than like, somebody else who does that. Like, I don't know, what's his face, O'Connell from the Vikings, throwing a razzle dazzle back behind the line for a negative 5-yard loss that basically put the pendulum swinging in the Giants' favor against the Giants in the divisional round. So, I feel like Andy Reid's way smarter than that. He'd do something like hide CEH in somebody's shoe or something like that.
So I think the guys he's going to do the trick plays with is going to be Kadarius Toney, Isaiah Pacheco, and Jet McKinnon. I think those are the guys he's going to use in trick ways. I think CEH played his way out of Kansas City. He's just awful. He's a worse version of Isaiah Pacheco, who is just bigger, faster, and stronger.
You know who also I want to remind everyone who also said that Travis Kelce sucked last week or 2 weeks ago? You did.
I did not say Travis Kelce sucked.
Explain, but however, I think Ken will enjoy this. What did you say would happen though? Or what was your rationale for
I took the under in Travis Kelce receiving yards to get a 10-1 bet for the record. 10-1.
No
second
qualifications here. No qualifications.
Oh, I can't defend myself now. So, second of all, the reason I took it is because I believed that it was Jacksonville was going to do everything in their power to prevent him from making a big play. So my logic was he could end with 10 catches for like 60 or 70 yards, but they're not going to let him get, 7 catches for 90 yards. And do you know what happened? I was right about that. He just caught 15 or 17 passes or something stupid for 90 yards. He had one of his worst yards per
Andy Reid is in the playoffs with a Hall of Fame quarterback and a Hall of Fame tight end. And then you were like, Andy Reid is not Zach Taylor and doesn't forget about people like T. Higgins on his team for Travis Kelce. He just is like, hey, that guy's really good at football. Maybe I should give him the ball like a lot. And then he did and scored a touchdown.
So,
Reid for president.
Dude, he set a record for receptions in that game. I am just like that's when
just out here playing chess. We're playing checkers. He's right. He's He's drawing on people's faces, like in the State
Dude,
Farm
don't
commercials.
insult him by saying we're playing even like the same board. We're on tic-tac-toe and he's on chess.
Hey man, I could hold my own against Andy.
Connor Lucas, which offensive coordinator job are you getting next year? Thanks to
Yeah,
our
I'm taking the
show.
Steelers job. I could definitely do it better than Matt Canada. Good lord, I can't believe they kept him.
Go back to Canada, Matthew.
What an embarrassment!
Okay,
What
so
an
you've been in and out for my analysis on this game. Do you have any
embarrassment!
like X's and O's matchups? I essentially said offense. The last thing I have, you'll enjoy this. Did you know the Chiefs are top 4 in adjusted net yards per attempt, like against? So essentially, teams have thrown for a ton of touchdowns, but they haven't done it in a hyper efficient way against the
Nope.
Chiefs. They just throw more because the Chiefs scored more points. So their like raw numbers look worse, but on a per play basis, they're good. And then I
So
checked it.
I think Speck is a pretty good coordinator. He's I guess that would be, I would say, the qualitative side of bend but don't break, because I would say that's what I see from when I watch their. They can give up. They'll give up some yards. They'll give up, but they make it really, really hard, and they don't seem to give up like a of like big long, or sorry, big like long touchdown passes, like quick strike game is my point. They might give on up every once in a while, but they kind of make you grind it out. For example, the Bengals. The Bengals had long drives, sustained drives. Luckily for them, on the other side, Mahomes was doing the same thing, but then they might end up with a field goal. Let Zach Taylor do Zach Taylor things and get down to the 10 and be like, all right, cool, let's kick a field goal. Let's not go for
Every
anything.
team's new offense is they're going to play Hail Mary defense against the Bengals to get them
Yeah,
within the red zone and then
that's what
watch
I
them kick
mean.
field goals.
I think Spagnuolo, I think, kind of bends but doesn't break. I don't know who was that the it wasn't the Ravens that was famous for that. I mean, it's kind of a Belichick style bend but don't break, but there was a famous like a dynasty defense that was kind of like that. It wasn't. It's not the Seahawks with the Legion of Boom. It was like wasn't the Ravens.
My
I
brother
mean,
Ken always said it to me with the Buccaneers in the early
kind of.
2000s. That was the Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks,
Yeah,
Roddenday Barber, John Lynch. That defense was just mean.
yeah. I mean, it's more of a Belichick style. Belichick is just like fundamentally sound. Spagnuolo, I wouldn't say is fundamentally sound because they don't have like a really great corner. They just
Well,
kind of give. Legarius Sneed was good. He
so
was
I was gonna say
contested.
this. I always assumed like they have young corners that aren't good, but like PFF has them graded as the third best coverage unit in the
They're just
NFL.
like a bunch of Tyrann Matthews, like very gritty, very physical. They come up and they come up and tackle. Maybe that's probably what they do, but they tackle in space pretty well. And then they just kind of let you dink and dunk around, and then it gets tight windows down in the red zone, and they just don't break. So I was gonna say that just Spagnuolo sounds like the numbers actually do support that, but and at the beginning of the year, I think he just throughout the year gets better. Kansas City's defense was terrible at the beginning of the year. Terrible. It's terrible at the beginning of last year too. And then it just kind of gradually he grows into his defense and kind of figures out what to do with his players.
Yeah.
But I would say from the X's and O's per standpoint, guess what? The Eagles have a really good 1-2 punch on the outside. James Bradbury, Darius Slay. Guess what the Chiefs don't have? Good wide receivers. So you're taking them out of the game. You don't care. You don't care. So
If
you've
you
just
were
been.
here, you would have heard that exact same point.
Oh, sorry. My computer, of course, just
I just
decided that it
love that
was.
we immediately went to the same point.
Yeah, I mean, it's true though. I don't. Kadarius Toney isn't a true outside guy. Which, by the way, we can talk about draft upcoming. I'm talking about guys coming into the league that aren't true outside guys.
We have a
Will they
whole
do
off
good or will they
season.
won't?
Don't even come on.
I agree. I'm
We
just
need more
telling you.
content.
Just telling you. I'm just telling you. Give something to look forward to. Jeez Louise. This is a
I know.
football show. It doesn't always have to be about this week's games, you big dummy.
Well, you're cutting away from my content. What are we gonna do next week?
Well,
Just
we'll
kidding.
figure it out. We'll figure it out. This is the garbage that I want people to see. I want to see Dictator Phil. I want them to see that. Yeah. I want them to see you yelling. If
Okay,
Ken was here, he would agree.
so you're over here. You've
Listen,
hinted at it and alluded to it. You have the Chiefs. I think the line is +1.5 for the Chiefs right now.
yeah,
That's
I
the
would
side you're
100%
taking.
take that. I would
All right.
100% take that.
Any opinion on the total? I think we're at a number, and I don't know what that number is. Some kind of show host
I got
diagram.
rid of all my other windows so my computer wouldn't crash. So that I think
I'm
that's
on it.
what
I'm
it
on it.
is.
I'm on my phone. I want to say 40 something. 50.5. That is high.
Ooh. Oof. That's weird that I would take the Chiefs and the under, but I would probably take the under on that.
Yeah,
I think the
that
Chiefs
seems
score, and
way too high for me.
I think the Chiefs score, and I think the Eagles don't.
It's that arm for Jalen Hurts. I don't know if you heard me, but Ken
I heard
said
you
like
talk
that.
about it's a little bit more troublesome than he's saying.
Well, it's healing from his shoulder is harder than healing from Mahomes' ankle in the 2 week span, pretty much.
I also heard like a soundbite. I was up in the cafeteria today, so they had ESPN on, and they were like, I think it was like Max Kellerman, by the way, very, very, very good ESPN analyst, said that he thinks that the Eagles are going to win by more than 2 touchdowns. How do we feel
I
about that?
I I don't watch ESPN anymore because I
Neither do
think
I.
they
I
they
truly,
bought
I don't.
they bought hyperbole, right? They just bought people who are going to give ridiculous takes. Like Dan Orlovsky stating that if the Eagles win, this is the start of a dynasty. That doesn't make sense. The Chiefs, if the Chiefs win, it's the start of I would say it's the start of a dynasty. They aren't in dynasty mode yet.
You got
So,
to win two to like start a dynasty. Basically, all we're saying is
and then you got
anybody
to
who
have
wins
and then you got to have 3 in a reasonable amount of time to cement
yeah,
that you're a legit dynasty.
two, this you you got to win more than one, and probably within like at least 2 out of 3 years, basically to
Completely agree.
start a dynasty, and then you probably got to win a third at
In
some point.
some like 7 year window, you have to win 3 times.
Basically, what you're looking at, then the problem, it just seems as though what they do is they're like, all right, cool. But the Chiefs have been to, they won a couple years ago. They're in the AFC Championship all the time. Okay. But they didn't win it.
Do you know who was in the Super Bowl all the time? The Buffalo
The,
Bills.
yeah. I wonder if do people consider that dynasty? I would think not. You
No,
have to
because they
win.
didn't win a Super Bowl. And if they do, they're wrong.
Yeah, I don't think I'd agree with that. What's that guy's name? Pink Floyd? Jim? Not Jim. I want to say Pink Floyd. Jim Floyd. Jim. Who was their quarterback?
Kelly? Is that right?
Kelly. I don't know why I always associate with him with Pink Floyd. Jim Floyd. I don't know. Jim Floyd. That's who it is. That was quarterback of the
I don't even know
Buffalo
if that's a
Bills.
person.
It's definitely a person. There's 7 billion people in the world. There's probably a
Yeah.
bunch of Jim Floyds.
Yeah, and most of those people are named Muhammad. Haven't you seen Superbad?
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Who was it?
It was
I don't.
between McLovin and Muhammad. Why would you do Muhammad? It's the most common name in the world, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah,
I don't
outdated
know.
references. That's why people show up to this.
Well, if they want movie references, we'll give them movie references.
All right,
I
so
just
let's go. Let's go on now. You have our picks. We both got the Chiefs. I think we both agree on the under. Ken told me pre-show that he has the over. I'm not buying it. I know that leaked game script came out and it was 37-34, but 50.5, like that just seems high,
what are
especially for
we doing?
teams.
What is going on with game script? Didn't Arian Foster like come out with a joke then said that it was scripted?
Yeah, well, so like
He's serious. He's
after the
serious. For people.
no, he's not serious. After the Chiefs game, everyone was saying that it's scripted because the Chiefs won on a
Yeah.
holding call, right? Um,
Yeah.
and then everyone's like, no, it's not scripted. And then Arian Foster's like, yeah, you know what? It is scripted. How do you think Matt Ryan felt when he was told that his team has to lose 28-3?
Oh, so it was a soundbite. I didn't even hear the whole soundbite.
Yeah, no, the whole thing
Somebody.
was
Oh
like
my goodness! I didn't know
it.
that.
It was so funny because
I didn't know that that was like a part of a conversation. Everyone came out and was like, "Is he serious?" And obviously went off and all of the Twitter took off with it and made funny memes about it, but I wasn't sure that like did he come out and like at least recant his statement?
No, because it was sarcasm. So
Oh.
it's like me and you sitting here like, I think the Bears are the best team in the NFL. It's like, no, we don't. If you're gonna quote
Bears
us on
are
that,
going to win next year. The Super
no,
Bowl.
the Bears
Book
are
it
gonna win the
right now.
Super Bowl this year. Book it.
The Eagles are going to win by more than 2 touchdowns. I'm serious. Put me on ESPN. I'm
My
going to
bro,
ESPN.
my brother Ryan. They released the script. There are magnets in basketballs.
I'm telling you.
I've seen Space Jam where he just sucks the golf ball in the hole. Look at these.
Yeah. Come
Oh
on.
man, I can't tell you anything about a movie made in the last 10 years, but you give me 20, 30 years ago, I'm money.
Yeah. I've been watching some. I used to watch a lot more. I don't anymore. I should do that.
Yeah, it's probably because like we have jobs and the podcast, like we are just committed to making the world money.
Listen, I have jobs that I work late. You get to cut up videos.
I worked late. The thing is, I just get to work early, so my working late gets me out like by 6.
We don't all work from home. Ken and I have real jobs.
Yeah, I do work from home, and that is the greatest thing in the world. I would never trade it. Okay, so let's get to it. I have a same game parlay, and I want to get your take on this. So, I was asked to write a same game parlay article. I had to write it from the Chiefs' advantage perspective, which was great because I believe in the Chiefs, so it lined up perfectly. All right, my 4 bets. This is a 10 or 11-1 payout. So you can have the Travis Kelce anytime touchdown scorer, Isaiah Pacheco over 16.5 receiving yards, Jalen Hurts under 238.5 passing yards, and then the Chiefs to cover a 2.5 point spread.
So I also, side note, I heard somebody said Vegas loves touchdown scoring bets. Those are dummy bets. Those are
Whoa,
bum
there.
bets.
I think anytime touchdown is more reasonable. They love first touchdown scorers.
Ah,
That's a big
I mean,
deal.
total guess. That's a total guess. I get that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. I heard that they put those out there for, again, like their little promos at the top. Throw anytime touchdown scorer into anything. Double up your money. And then, they're like, oh, cool, I'll get that. And also 15 other things that won't happen. And the odds are crazy. But that anytime touchdown scorer is like the big time, like curveball.
Yeah. Touchdown scorers are tough, but I did Travis Kelce and I did my research. He scored a touchdown. He scored a touchdown in 7 of his last 8 playoff games. And he has like 10 touchdowns in 8 in his last 8 playoff games. The dude is just a straight up playoff monster.
To be fair, I think the hardest thing for you to cover is potentially, I think it's going to be the Jalen Hurts thing, because I think the Chiefs are going to go up and I think he's going to have to throw. I actually find it more reasonable that Kelce will score a touchdown than Hurts to be under 238.5.
Yeah. So my thought with that was his shoulders hurt, and when I make these bets, when I make these bets, my target's a 10-1 payout, and it's extreme, I know, but like I could have taken the Hurts over to match like the theme of a high scoring game, but
don't get me wrong. I do the same thing on same game parlays. I'm like, hey, 1,500 or less or more is got to be it. I think I've made some that were like 3,000. I think that same game parlay with that Cousins nearly had screwed up did screw up was like 2,300 for like a $5 bet. It was gonna pay out something crazy. It was like $700.
Classic.
So I also hate Cousins. It gives me another reason to hate Cousins.
All he had to do was not check down on 4th and 10.
What a moron! And you love watching like the Amazon Cloud stuff where like you show the other routes. They show it and they show like where the defenders are. He had just. It's weird because if you
all he had to do was throw to Thielen or Osborne in one-on-one coverage
on the
with
left
the guys.
Side, it was on the left.
Yep.
They had a 2-man game route, and they were doing a switch route, and Osborne was coming across. And I think Thielen was going up the sideline. Of all people, to not chuck and duck, I would not have guessed Kirk Cousins would be checking down at the end of the game. Kirk Cousins chucks and ducks more than anybody in the NFL. If we could find a stat on that, we should do it. Because if you watch like him coming out because he turns his back a lot because O'Connell has him do play action a lot, their play action game, and then he just turns around and flings it and doesn't even look. That would be Kirk Cousins in a nutshell. So again, Kirk Cousins' chuck and duck rate has to be like the highest, and he chose not to do that on like in the most important situation ever. Dude, you've been doing it the whole game. Do it another way. Chuck and duck at the end of a game when people are like, "Yeah, you should probably do that." That's actually probably the best chance for us to get a first down on 4th and 10.
That's how they beat. That's how they beat the Bills. All he did is chuck and duck to Justin Jefferson.
That's what I mean. That's my point exactly. It worked last time, you idiot. Why don't you just do it again? Hey, TJ
All right,
Hawk,
so we had a question come in.
All right,
Do the Chiefs make Hurts throw, or do they make him run to start?
dude, make him throw. Period. I don't care. Seriously, your defense is made to bend but not break. Guess what? Hurt's feet aren't hurt, which is kind of ironic. I understand that was Dr. Seuss esque right there. Hurts is not hurt. His feet are not hurt. I get that, but I'm telling you, I that would scare me. I think you run into it if you get into a track meet with a running team. Get the ball out of his hands, make him throw it, make that shoulder hurt as much as possible. I mean, if you're trying to say, okay, well, chances of him getting hurt, again, back to the hurt thing, are by tackling him, okay, maybe get him a little bit banged up or whatever. He's an elite athlete, man. Have you seen the videos of him squatting like 700 pounds? Dude's a monster. So, also, mind you, Shane Steichen's offense is kind of centered around them being able to run the read option and intentionally having him pull it. So if you stop that portion, you have a much better chance, I think, because you're forcing them to do. They're good enough all around. They've got weapons everywhere. I get it. You're in the Super Bowl for a reason. But take one portion away. And I would say take his legs away. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think I'm with you where if you limit his legs, you are also kind of limiting the effect of the Eagles like blockers, right? And when you watch their running game, it's just brilliant the way they, move their offensive line and how good those guys are at just, blocking one-on-one, taking someone out of the play. If you can crowd the line, make them throw outside the hash marks, then you're really forcing like two guys to beat you. Like, and you just got to hope your guys are outside and can make enough plays against AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. And I mean, it kind of worked for the 49ers. Devonta Smith dropped the pass. It didn't get challenged. And then
I mean, people are worried about it. People are worried about the fact that they have all those guys all over the place, but kind of chunky plays. Not really, if you take away the running game, they're not built like, let's say, I would be much more worried if you were the Bengals because they're built to kind of run a 2-minute offense where they don't really care about you can take away the run and we don't want to do it anyways. Our offensive line sucks. They're built to dink and dunk and go down and don't need these crazy high explosive plays. The Eagles kind of need it. Like how many times, like for example, that 4th and whatever last week, Devonta Smith that actually dropped it was like a 40-yard play, kind of explosive. It got to 4th down. That sort of changed the trajectory of the game. Brock Purdy comes in and gets hurt the next series. San Fran looked fine on defense in their first drive. They were okay. They made them work.
San Fran only started looking in trouble. I don't know if we said this, but when they started playing to cover up for their offense, and you saw their defense, they went for a punt block to get a touchdown, right? And they hit the kicker. On a 4th down, they held because they were just like, we can't screw up. And you get that kind of pressure, you start making stupid mistakes. Dre Greenlaw just started punching the ball.
yeah.
He's just going to town like Rocky.
Again, this is why we're talking about them being somewhat overrated, is because You got who did you have? You had the Giants. Yeah, they're good. The Giants. By the way, the first the Giants winning their first divisional game. Total fluke. They played the Vikings. Good lord, come on. Come on. Kirk Cousins versus Daniel Jones. That's all what we wanted to see. Anyways, second of all, they got the Eagles exposed them. So, badly, so badly. Which I'm shocked that Kafka dude is still getting interviews for a head coaching job. I'm shocked that he's getting it. That's a Dable cover up all day long. And then finally, like now, the Eagles got a hurt Brock. They ran against the triple option. They ran against Navy. They played against Navy last week with a bum quarterback, bum armed quarterback. I should say Purdy's not. He's okay. Like he'll probably have a decent career, but yeah, I'm just not convinced. I would rather have them take away their legs and play offense. Look at the last whatever 5 or 6 Super Bowl winners. The
All right,
last
I gotta let my dog upstairs. I'll be right back.
The last what you would consider, I don't know, defensive scoring team that won the Super Bowl was probably the New England Patriots. And that was more, I guess, more of a Belichick, uh, like I was saying earlier, it's more of a Belichick style defense, bend but don't break. But they didn't have they had Tom Brady in kind of an efficient offense. That was truthfully the last defensive Super Bowl winner was probably the Patriots.
That can't be right.
2019, they beat the Rams 13-3. Okay, so my point is offensive.
I'd say the Rams last year, man. They won that game because of Aaron Donald and Jalen, right? Well, I guess maybe not Jalen Ramsey, but to an extent.
I mean, you have to have
Ramsey.
a balanced team, but you have to have a balanced team. But I never thought in my head like the Rams are I never thought the Rams were.
I thought in the playoffs they were. That's when Von Miller started.
Too, I'm also not I'm not a Jalen Ramsey, disciple either. Never have been.
All right. Do you at least think he's a good corner?
I think he's a good corner. Okay, I don't think that he is the best corner that should be constantly in the Pro Bowl.
Everyone knows that's Sauce Gardner.
I just don't see him as being, when I watch him, I see him give up a ton of big plays. Maybe it's recency bias. Maybe this isn't Jalen Ramsey of past. He's older. What is he, 28, 29 years old now? Fine. But I look at like a Sauce Gardner. Seriously, how many receptions did that dude give up this year total? We can't say he's the best because he's what, a rookie?
Yeah, that's pretty much the only. Once he puts on 15 pounds.
I mean, here's the other thing too. He gets away with a lot. He gets away with a lot of bump and run, and people are like, "Well, he's actually holding," and people just don't call it. I mean, yes and no. People also just don't throw his way because he is so airtight.
So, let's go on to more. We got prop bets. We always talk about this stuff. At least by always, I mean,
I saw a good one. Offensive lineman to score 3,300.
All right, so hear me out before we cover that. The big one that everyone plays, the coin flip. The world's worst bet. If you bet on this, just don't. It's so stupid. The odds are clearly against you. It's a 50-50 split, and they will give you minus like 110 odds or minus 105 odds. You are losing 5% of your income. Like, it's just stupid.
Whatever,
I don't care
dude.
If you get it right.
Bet 100, get 191. What do you mean? Dude. You're talking about winning. Like, here's the thing. You say you're losing your investment. That's still nearly doubling your money.
But what if you win? And it's no. Everyone knows that you should do probabilities and statistics. You don't buy lottery tickets. You don't bet on a coin flip when it's clearly 50-50 odds.
That means you could win, dude. There's other ones that like you don't have 50-50 odds on. That's like 70 lose, 30 win.
Yes. No, 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 no. But those are estimated probabilities that you can argue and debate. This is factual. You know the coin flip is 50-50.
This is what we call in vocabulary or English, whatever you want to call it. I don't know,
I got this
whatever.
as a loser's mentality.
Mutually exclusive. They cannot happen at the same time. Mutually exclusive.
Don't don't
Whenever you anybody who wants to listen to this and hears about it in a meeting someday, and they're like, "Yeah, these things are mutually exclusive," you can say, "I know what that means because Connor explained it to me."
Yeah, listen
Also,
to the finance guy, not the stats guy who
because
does this for
that's
a
the
living.
example that everyone gives every single time. Oh, it's mutually exclusive. It can't happen at the same time. Oh, okay. Well, it's a coin flip. All right. See, but I also, to be fair, I also don't do the mathing of the probabilities again like you do. I get it. Like that's your thing. Like that's cool, but I don't sit here and go, Well, I'm just looking at going, does this look like it happened? Does it follow a game script that I think will happen in this game? Yeah, okay. All right, let's do that.
So what's the game script that you have where the coin
Well,
is heads?
shut up. We're not talking about that. I don't care. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying for Joe Schmo who doesn't care about mathing it out, here, give me 50-50 odds. I'll just do it.
Stupid. Just so stupid. Okay,
Hey,
actually.
double your money in 2 seconds before the game even begins. That's what you could do.
All right. I'm good. I'm calm now. We can move on. Let's go on to some of the prop bet that you found now because I like it actually. What's the prop bet, Con?
Oh, the prop bet? Oh, the actual prop bet that I like? I don't even know if I have a prop bet that I like because I opened one up. And so this was my point where I was going to go earlier, but you stopped me because you're a dictator. Was I like points bet, at least so far, or 365 because they have like unique stuff. I don't care about like all the winning probabilities. It's just like think about how cool it would be to see an offensive lineman score. I don't even know if it was offensive lineman. I think it was lineman, period. Let's say, you know, DN, fumble sack, strip sack, all the way, plus 3,300. Boom. Unique, fun, exciting. Bet it. Lose your money.
All right.
This is fun for me. Okay, Phil? All right.
So
This is
so
fun.
let me find the Gatorade prop. I don't know. I don't know what they are right now because that is always an awesome one. Let's do Super Bowl MVP while I do this. So you can have Mahomes at plus 130, Jalen Hurts at plus 130. So if their team wins, pretty much. Kelsey at plus 1600, AJ Brown at 18, Miles Sanders at 25, and then it kind of gets ridiculous.
Still,
Even
I mean,
dude, like I think that Miles Sanders one is underrated. I could see a scenario that a likely scenario that if you told me the Eagles won the game, he had 120 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, and they won the game 23-17.
yeah,
Sounds
and then I
sounds
got to
like
hear about it in fantasy football. People trying to trade him to me in Dynasty all offseason, acting
my
like he's
point.
not going to get replaced.
My point is at plus 2,500. You're
Yeah,
saying there's about a 4% chance of that happening. I think there is more than a 4% chance.
yeah.
Look
I
at
think
that.
if they do exactly what we said to our viewer, or did the opposite of what we said to the viewer, and they're like, "Yeah, make them pass or make them run. We want them to run. That's not even that's what they're really good at, but let's do it anyways." Spagnuolo maybe could do that. I don't know. Reverse psychology. I'm not sure.
All right. Man, I should totally. Oh, first drive ones are always fun. I always say they're not things you should bet, but when you're talking like who's the first guy to make a catch, it's just so exciting because you're actually watching the game at that point, guaranteed, and you're all excited for it.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying. I care about fun stuff for the Super Bowl. I know we're
yeah,
sitting here trying to give our real picks and whatnot. We already did that. We
don't
already
don't
picked.
actually don't actually bet it is my point.
No, parlay it.
Dude,
There it is. Boom. Parlay
oh
all
my
these things that
gosh,
we're
dude,
saying.
you are just like You're just like, hey, what's Phil's triggers? How can I piss him off?
That's what your triggers are, and I don't even care.
All right, here we go. Here's some fun ones. All right, these are the novelty props at DraftKings. I know you said you don't like it, but I knew how to navigate through these the best. Okay.
Trash.
Okay, this is a good one. Combined jersey number of all touchdown scorers. Okay, over or under 160.5. So
We
hear
gotta
me
look
out.
at the rosters.
Well, you have to figure out their numbers and stuff, but you think AJ Brown's a low number? Um, Devonta Smith is a low number.
Yeah.
The only one I can think of that is likely to score a touchdown that's a high number is Travis Kelce.
Jalen
However,
Hurts, number 1.
Mahomes 11. Is that right? Or I don't
Yeah.
know.
Juju Smith, 9.
Yeah, but Travis Kelce at 87, like it is baked in that he is getting at least one touchdown into these numbers.
Yeah, but even then, even if he does get one, think about everybody else. Jerick McKinnon, 1. Pacheco,
But
10. Seriously, I honestly can't
who
think
who
of
we got?
anybody.
MVS, is he's the only other, or is he
11,
11? He's
17. No,
11.
he's 17.
Okay, I knew it was
There's like
low.
no risk here. We should take this bet right now. Right now.
Take. All right, but the thing I don't know is if Travis Kelce, does his jersey number count twice if he scores 2 touchdowns? Because if he scores 2 touchdowns, that hits the over. That's like my only fear. Dallas Goedert, I think he's 89. I think he's the other one that you'd worry about.
88. He's 88.
I was close. So, but to your point, I actually think I think you're right with the under. You give me Travis Kelce 1 touchdown, give me no touchdowns for Dallas Goedert, and I think you hit this easy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. Well, if you take this one, by the way, you can't take the offensive lineman scoring. They've got pretty high numbers. I'm just saying, don't
Just
do
assume
that.
he gets one instead of Travis Kelce.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Parlay these together.
Parlay them, except they're across different sites, but still, do it anyways. Put them, put them on both sites. Come on. I'm trying to find this parlay, man. I kind of want to see it, or I want to see this. Where were you looking at?
If you go to DraftKings Super Bowl novelty props, it's like the
Right.
6th one in.
Classic props, cross sport. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm gonna find some good ones here.
All right, so let's do. Will there be a flea flicker? I don't think either of these teams run flea flickers. It's not their style.
No, but I'm just saying you got some weird stuff with what's his face with Andy Reid coming. Steichen doesn't seem like that kind of
all right,
guy.
is this a flea flicker? If he throws it, if you throw it like as a screen backwards, he throws it back to Mahomes, and then Mahomes throws it downfield. The quarterback throwback
count
pass.
that as a double pass or something different? It would be the question.
Yeah, I don't know if like that's a like is that a flea flicker or is a flea flicker like a handoff into a pass? Because if it's a pitch,
we must need to look and see what the
this is the kind of stuff that they pull on you, man. When you're looking at it, you're like, if it's a double pass, then I'm going yes. If it's just a pure handoff to a pass, I'm going no.
That's tough.
All right, let's do this next one. This was fun last year. Will there be an octopus? And I really thought
what was
serious.
that again?
It you have to score a touchdown and 2-point conversion, the same player on the same drive. You can't have Kelce score a touchdown in the first quarter, 2-pointer in the fourth. He has to do touchdown, 2-point, back-to-back plays. So players, I think players, I think could do it. I think if the Eagles run it in, they're gonna throw on the 2-pointer. If they throw it in, though, I could see them being like, dude, AJ Brown is feasting on the Jarius Sneed. Hit him deep, hit him on a slant right after. So I think it's Kelce and AJ Brown are the targets for this. That if they were to happen, odds are plus 1,400. I'm still saying no.
Dude, I'm about to parlay these jersey number ones. It's gonna be awesome.
All right. We'll get back to that. I have one more exciting one. Kick to hit the post. This is one of my favorites because I'm always saying yes. It is not a bet you should take, but I love it, and I want it to happen.
See, maybe I'm just missing all these cool ones in DraftKings, or maybe they're not on the mobile app.
They're just tucked away.
They are tucked away. Their site sucks.
All right, here's some weird ones. Ja Morant versus Travis Kelsey receptions.
See, that does sound weird.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's see what else we got. I didn't see a Gatorade though. Let me Google it. All right.
Flea Flicker, man. DK Squares.
All right. So I found a website, and here are the color odds. So we have. Let's see. Wait. Oh, that's between the Bucks and the Chiefs. Boo.
They must not have it this year.
If they don't, I'm gonna be really upset. I'm still picking. If I have to pick. So it got brought up.
Dude, we need
Go
to
ahead.
pick next year's Super Bowl right now.
We're gonna do it next week. You just like, hey Phil, all these great things you have planned for us in the future. Let's do them now.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of them today. You're thinking of
All right.
them next week.
All right, so listen. I am saying right now, it's blue Gatorade. It's just the best tasting. Like,
I like purple.
Okay.
Blue. It's blue or purple.
Okay, I can see both, but
Okay,
I'm saying
but you're wrong.
I can't say that both are good.
You were gonna say. Oh well, you're wrong. I'm gonna say I'm right.
So the argument is people say it's supposed to be the color of the team that wins, and I just think that's not true. I think it's just 100% blue because it's better. I was right last year when I said blue. It just happened to be the color of the team that won.
It's gonna be red this year then. Can't be green. That's impossible.
Okay.
Superb Owl.
What?
Ooh, either team to kick a game-winning walk-off field goal at the end of normal time. That's kind of good.
No.
Plus 1,000, so 10-1. That's pretty good.
I wish we could have most receiving yards in the game props, but I can't see those.
That is interesting. That's interesting.
All right. Okay, here we go. I got game leaders. So let's see. Who will have the most receiving yards? Do you want me to share my screen so you can see these odds?
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna be weird. I only have one screen. You see, I'm operating. That's fine. We can do this real quick. You're going to dinner. Where are you going?
I said go eat dinner. Soup. I told you this. My wife was making soup. It's done.
I'm very forgetful. Okay, so you got my screen?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. I'll blow these up a little. Ignore my bet slip. I'm not actually betting that. All right. So we have most receiving yards. I honestly think a great one is going to be right here at MVS. Plus 900.
I would pick Dallas Goedert.
Okay.
I would say Goedert.
I don't see a situation where Goddard has more receiving yards than Kelsey though.
That's fair. That's a good point.
And if MVS is going like, I think good players for this are like deep threats. Like if you told me MVS had two like 60-yard bombs, I could see that happening.
I could also see something crazy happen, like Jerick McKinnon. Them just checking it down the whole time, running plays, and he hits a long one.
Yeah, but if he busts out, essentially you're hinging on a long play, right? Like Quez Watkins.
Yeah. But I would say volume could still go to Goddard. Is my point.
I could see that. All right, let's go on rushing yards. This is a fun one because I think this one's like way up in the air because like I could see Miles Sanders getting blocked and Jalen Hurts coming out, Pacheco having a good game, but then like Jerick McKinnon also having a good game. Heck, even if like it just turns into a passing shootout, Patrick Mahomes, doing the I ran the ball 10 times but threw the ball 50 times and getting the most rushing
Now
yards.
this is in the game, obviously, right? I wish they could split it out by team because I would pick somebody other than Pacheco. I just
Yeah.
feel like they would have McKinnon on the field longer if they're down. You got to pick a game script and follow it. Boston Scott, I think could have if Eagles go up, Boston Scott could be a nice play, or Kenny G, just somebody other than Sanders because like at the end of the game, I think Boston
Well,
Scott ended up with over 100 yards that one game where they blew out the.
that was Kenny G. He killed
Yeah,
it,
was it
dude,
Kenny
against
G?
the
Yeah,
against the Giants. He was just shredding through them.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. I could do that.
All right. Player with most
Trey
receptions.
Sermon because he's a Buckeye.
Juju Smith Schuster because he has good juju. All right. Player with most receptions. Sneaky one. Right there, Devonta Smith.
Yeah, I think that's the best value.
I think
Ooh.
who are you gonna say?
I think McKinnon has a big game.
So you have the Chiefs winning
Yeah.
by 3, but you
Yeah.
have them throwing
Well,
a
I
lot. Is
say
that
more,
right?
potentially more than 3. I got them at minus 2.5, but like they could win by 50. I don't care.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But you still have them throwing a lot.
Yeah. No,
So
I think that I think this is just their offense. I
So
think that
are you going with a death by 1,000 paper cuts then, where you're talking like
yes,
Mahomes throws the ball 35 times but only has
yes,
300 yards?
he threw the ball more than 35 times against the Bengals, and that was a close game. Remember that? I mean, it was. I think that's how
Agreed.
this is going to be. I just think that they're better. I think that their offense is better offense. I think that the Eagles are overrated on offense, and they're good. They're great offense, but I think they're overrated such that they haven't played great defenses or even really good defenses. So, and the one that they did, their quarterback got blown up in the second series of the game where they were on the field for 80 plays. So,
All right, we will wrap up with this, the exciting one that I love. We got or Chiefs just running as a response to what you were saying. So first players to catch a pass for each team. I think this is a fun one because I don't think it's ever who you're going to expect it to be. I remember doing this way back first year in college. I think that was a Ravens Super Bowl.
wait. Time out. Is it first player to catch a pass or any of these players catch a pass on the first drive?
Oh. Yep, no, you win. It's not the first player to catch a pass.
Because if it is players to catch a pass, dude,
Kelsey.
just pick like, somebody not named Kelsey. Kelsey will obviously get one, but pick like something crazy where it's like somebody who's on the field all the time. Pacheco might be a good one to catch
Well,
a
so
pass
I
on the
think
first drive.
I wouldn't say I think they're gonna come out with something sneaky, right? And you're gonna
Yeah,
do
or something
like
stupid like that. That's what I'm
like
saying.
like a
About
like a
something stupid
Kadarius
happening.
Toney fake screen wheel.
Sky Moore. That might be a good one.
I don't like Sky Moore until someone gets hurt.
Jody Fortson. I'm telling you, man. I think that
Noah
play
Gray.
might actually be Tony. I just think that Reed's got to justify. He clearly was in their ear to trade for him. He's going to use him on the biggest stage against. I mean, I just think he is.
All right, we'll flip through these last specials and see if there's anything we like. So, QB to have a reception. I love that one. That is always, I think, a great bet.
No, you don't.
Dude, so they do it like Tom Brady constantly had one catch in the Super Bowl. That just happened all the time, like those throwback
and
passes.
Then dropped another one.
Yeah, he got lit up, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think that. Ooh.
Any non QB to have a pass.
Dude,
TD.
I'm telling you, I like either team to kick a game-winning walk-off field goal in the normal time.
So you think the Chiefs win by at least 2.5 and they kick a walk-off game-winning field goal?
Listen. If something like this happens, that means my other bet is off. Okay, I'm just talking about fun stuff. All right, I like that bet. Listen, see, here's the thing: you're looking at it going, "Oh, I need to pick ones that are going to win or likelihood of winning." I'm looking at fun ones. Okay, none of these are likely to actually happen.
I bet a doink field goal, one to hit a goalpost.
There was the other one that I thought was really good was the what was the one that we were just talking about? Oh, the fun offensive line one. That's a fun one. Okay.
That's a good one. I'll give you that. I think
no, there was another one that I actually thought might actually McKinnon to lead in reception yards. Death by 1,000 cuts.
I can't even get back.
Oh no, it was a jersey number one. Like that one. If Travis Kelce doesn't score, that thing happens.
The under?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. But I have that in my same game parlay, so I can't bet that. All right, so let's do it. We'll end on this because they'll just have picks guaranteed. Jersey number, a first touchdown score, over under 11.5.
I gotta remember who's in.
I think first touchdown.
They clearly know that it's either Kelce or nobody.
I was gonna say, so for the Eagles, Brown's 11, Smith is 6, everyone else is or Hurts. Yeah. So I am going with, if it's the Eagles scoring, it's the under. If it's the Chiefs, it's the over. So give me the over because I think it's Kelce. Jersey number of last touchdown scorer. I think this is an Eagle because I have them losing. So give me the under.
How does that make sense? If you have them losing, like a late game score or something?
Yeah, garbage time.
Yeah.
Never forget. All right. With that, you have it all. Our takes. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention it. Natty beer is the light to buy. Or Natty Light is the beer to buy.
Natty beer, baby. Natty beer. That's our new thing. I love that. Natty beer is the light to buy. I like that. That's our new promo.
Let Natty beer light your way.
Come on. Natty beer light the way. Natty beer.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Good luck with